ਸੋ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਰਿਲੀਜੀਅਸ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਪਿਛਲੇ 2 ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਯਤਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਮਝਣ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਕਸਦ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਰੱਬ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਪਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਓ ਕੁਝ 2 ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮੇਟਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੋਂ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। As you mentioned, we were talking about what is the purpose and the relevance of religion in our daily life. Here is a very important point that we want to convey to our listeners. Gurbani has nothing to do with outer purpose.
Right.
In worldly comfort, wealth, power, and status, has nothing to do with success in business. ਸੁੱਖਾਂ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਆਊਟਰ ਪਰਪਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ is all about inner purpose. ਕਿਵ ਸਚਿਆਰਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, transformation of the consciousness. And let me just repeat some of the things. What is the purpose of religion? This is the only purpose of religion, is how to be a good human being, understand, internalize godly virtues like compassion, tolerance, kindness, contentment, love, care, those respect and equality. That religion teaches us and guides us how to love, live in harmony, humanism, secularism, live a meaningful life, inner peace, happiness, khushiyan kheda, stress, depression, worry-free life. That is the meaning and purpose of, and it has nothing to do with outer purpose. The outer purpose is the byproduct of all this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you achieve those things, but that's the byproduct. That's not the priority. That is not the purpose of religion in our life. So now we come back to the topic of what is God. And I've done a lot of research. It's a very, I would say, Harpreet, is extremely important in the field of religion.
Oh yes, the most discussed topic.
Because see if you agree with me, society is the reflection of God at worship.
That's right.
From spirituality point of view, society is the reflection of religion, the God, what it worship. Has God really served society, has the God society worship and guided us to be more human or even less human? That's the big question we need to talk about. What is the God of Guru Nanak? We will discuss that in next 2-3 episodes. Harpreet, humans have worshipped God for thousands of years, and we are still worshiping God there. And now in 21st century, we need to ask very important question. What is the meaning, purpose of that God we worship in our daily life? And what is that God we worship? How we define that God? What that God look like? Why is the humans need that God in our life? From religious spirituality perspective, it's an extremely important question, because society, as I mentioned, is a reflection of the God we worship, the society worship. Here, I think from a daily life perspective, and it's a fact of daily life that we all, humans, we all desire inner peace, happiness, joy, live a meaningful life free of stress, depression, worries, anxiety, pain and suffering, and stress free. We all want that. We also understand that this peace, happiness come from worshipping God, worshipping truth. And I said, then we all want peace and happiness, but I dare to say that happiness and peace only come from worshipping God. Guru Pasha very clearly says in Gurbani, Je so chanda ugve suraj chade charar hazar ete chanan hundiyan Gurbin Kol hunda, meaning thousands of sun, moon, can lit up the world, spread bright sunshine, but the darkness of spiritual ignorance, cause of pain and suffering in our life, can only be dispelled through divine wisdom, spiritual knowledge.
Right.
Living the truth, worshipping and praising the God. There is no other source and there is no other method. Meditating, contemplating on God, I'm emphasizing here that what is the significance of God in our daily life, and then we will talk about what God we created and what we are worshipping.
Right.
And by meditating, contemplating on God, that guide us how to be good human, spiritually awakened, how to conduct ourselves in the society in a civil way, live a meaningful life and transformation of our consciousness.
Right.
That is the purpose of God. There's no other source of happiness and peace. I would say, Harpreet, a lot of your listeners probably will raise this question that I do not believe in God. I not believe in religion, but I am a good person. I have compassion, I have a tolerant, I'm a kind and caring person. Now that's the question people will raise. A little bit of misunderstanding here. Truth is, Harpreet, it does not matter what you call yourself. These are exactly the values and virtues of God, Rabbi Gunane. This is all we need in our daily life to enjoy peace and happiness. And so whatever you call, as we will discuss in Guru Nanak Padsha, that this is what Guru Nanak's God is. And there's no atheists in this world. We all have the divine spark. So it's a misunderstanding. If you have these values, those values come from those visionaries,
right?
The God, the spirituality, the reason. So this is basically is the meaning and purpose of God in our daily life. This is the God we need in our 21st century. But here, God, which guide us to be Satyara and live in harmony. Here is a big question. If this is the God, do these things in our life, and then why God has become a dirty word? This is what the purpose of God is in our life, transformation, live in peace and happiness, harmony, everything. Then why in 21st century God has become a dirty word, unwanted? Why people are questioning the existence of God? It's a huge question. When we understand that, it'll change the meaning of religion. And people are making RPG millions of dollars writing God is dead, and there has been because bloodshed in the name of God, and presently it's happening. My God is only truth, killing each other, and many more questions. There are critical questions need answers for 21st century about the God we worship. When we get to know, Harpreet, here's the important, we will discuss in very details and what God we worship, what is the God of Guru Nanak. And when we go understand and realize the God, know the God of Guru Nanak, these questions will all be answered in detail and discover a new religion in the modern society. Let us discuss, Harpreet, why has this happened in the 21st century? Why has God become a dirty word? Why has people questioning the existence of God? Why are people saying God is dead? It's extremely important. Help me, Harpreet, here, which I don't know if I can explain that in a really good way, but we will talk about. It's very important, Harpreet. God or religion is a human creation to serve humanity. God or religion is a human creation to serve humanity. Spiritually enlightened visionaries, prophets, were all reformers. They were not gods as we made them look like. They were reformers. Harpreet, they observed, analyzed, redefined, and reinterpreted the existing practices and belief systems. and providing new ideas, new vision, as Guru Nanak did.
Right.
And it was their vision, their religion is a way of life, spiritually guiding principles. Unfortunately, the organized religion, the preached today, have completely lost that vision,
Right.
that way of life, their spirituality guiding principles. We have completely lost
Forgotten
that.
and lost, and we are
Lost.
losing it still, because as you very rightly said, the purpose of believing in God was to transform our consciousness, to transform ourselves and be of service to the society.
Yeah.
But what is actually happening is something different. We'll discuss after this short break. ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਜੋ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਸਿਰਫ ਲਿਪ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਕਰਨੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੱਥੇ ਟੇਕਣੇ ਨੇ, ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਰਮ ਕਾਂਡ ਕਰਨੇ ਨੇ, ਜਾਂ ਉਸ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਚਿੰਤਤ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਹੋਂਦ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਨਵੀਂ ਪਨੀਰੀ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ।
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਜ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਬੋਝ ਹੇਠ ਦੱਬੇ ਹੋ? ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਰੋ?
ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮਾੜਾ ਅਸਰ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ 'ਚ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਰਜ਼ੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਘਟਾ ਕੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਰਕਮ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਕਿਸ਼ਤਾਂ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਜ਼ੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਕਤ ਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਨਵੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਜੀਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
1866-790-8984 ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨਜ਼, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਥੀ।
ਸੋ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮਹੱਤਵਪੂਰਨ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਇਹ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ। ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਜ਼ਾਫਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਪਾ ਸਕਨੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਮਝ ਸਕਨੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ। ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ।
Harpreet ji, we were discussing the meaning of God in our daily life. This is a way of life.
Right.
God is a way of life, guiding principles, how to be sutyara, how to be a good human, which the organized religions have completely lost
Ignored.
that message through misunderstanding, misinterpretation, alteration, changes for wealth, power and status.
Ji.
What God we worship today is the result. Okay, here is the important point. What God we have today, why it has become dirty word, why it's not wanted, why is people question the existence of God.
Ji.
God we worship today is the result of human ignorance and fear that began thousands years back.
Right.
Fear is because of ignorance, lack of knowledge of nature, cosmic laws, fear of death, natural calamities, man has no control over. As the evolvement of self-consciousness, ego, knowledge, humans sought protection and security, cope with worries, anxiety, life problems, as we said above. Due to ignorance, Harpreet ji, they believed that some external powers control what is happening in the universe.
Ji.
Because of ignorance and fear.
Ji.
Everything from sun, moon, rain, fire, disease, tornadoes is controlled by spirits. Man has no control over
Ji.
that. For that reason, Harpreet ji, humans created thousands of rituals, religious practices to win favor of those spiritual spirits,
Ji.
seek protection from them. In India, as we know, we worship Devi, Devta, 3.3 million gods, idol worship, images, and believed. And then after this, then humans started believing in one supreme being. One supreme being controlled everything,
Right.
supernatural powers being, and they named that God. Named that identity
That's God.
a God. That is the beginning of the human created God of religion. Out of fear,
Ji.
out of ignorance. Unfortunately, we are practicing a lot of that. Which came out of this. Human experience and belief and assumptions. Why I am discussing these points so that we can understand clear picture of religion and God.
जी
Prophets, visionaries, enlightened individual taught humanity.
जी
God, religion, humans are worshipping today is a vision of God, is the people we need in the 21st century. We can only move forward, Harpreet, by discussing this, walking through this,
right
understanding
Absolutely.
that what the God, what we worship, how this whole happened.
जी
And God, religion that humans worship, look up to for solving the life problems, peace and happiness, is not the God of religion, prophets, and vision and defined.
जी
And it is very interesting to note here, Harpreet, as I said, we discussed before, whether it was Socrates, Moses, Muhammad, Mahatma Buddha, and Jesus, they all preached. And I was quite surprised that how common revolutionary, how common they were, how their vision was so sacred and so simple and clear and logical.
Right.
What all of them, Harpreet, as you read, preach how to be a good human being,
Right.
how to be compassionate, tolerant, kind, and loving person, equality. They talk about equality and brotherhood.
Justice.
They fought against injustice, all of them, and they fought against exploitation of powerless,
Right.
of the power, fight against religious practices, useless rituals, superstitious beliefs, karma kand, vagera. They all fought about that.
जी
The God and religion, those prophet is, as I said, we have completely lost those.
जी
So-called religious preachers and priests, administrators and politicians, kings and rulers of the time, for many power, money, power and status, and suppress that truth.
जी
We have organized religions now, which have little or no relevance to our daily life, as we discussed that. Even though Sikhs have Sri Guru Granth Sahib, which we talk about cannot be changed, it's a first-hand document, even that, through misunderstanding, misinterpretation, that the message of Nanak is completely lost here.
जी
And what is being is discussed and preached in the Gurdwaras had little relevance and to our daily life, and little relevance to how to be a good human being.
जी
Now let us talk about the gods through fear and ignorance. Humanity is created,
जी
and how that God is serving the humanity in 21st century. And then we will talk about the God of Guru Nanak.
जी
And so what people are believing today is that God, Allah, Rab, Lord, Bhagwan, is number one, outside of
जी.
this world.
जी
Okay, we all believe that. Is up in seventh heaven, Uparwala.
जी
And that is like a big white bearded human-like figure. We all worship that God.
जी
God, we believe, has a supernatural powers without any limitations, human limitations. Do miracles against cosmic laws or unchangeable laws of nature. Can do anything upon prayers.
जी.
This is the God society is
It's
worshipping
created,
today.
yeah.
And, because the humans have created this God, as we discussed, it's the human creation.
जी.
Because human has created this supernatural powers God. So what we believe that God listened to our prayers.
ठीक
This is what we are practicing, right? And so if that God is a supernatural powers with no human limitation, so what we do, we pray to that God for a gift of son.
ठीक
It's a common practice because of that reason,
Right.
because we are doing what we created. We are reflecting what the God, kind of
Right.
God we have created.
जी
And we pray for rain, drought, and I remember when I was young in a village, they did a Khandpat, where there was a drought and the Khandpat, and did all those rituals so that the rain happened.
right
And we pray for the rain.
going against
And
the
we
natural laws.
pray for protection from tsunami, earthquake, and even we play for victory in the court case, elections, and admission in the university, the prayers of the parents pray for the admission in the university, and pray for even a cure of cancer. Because we're doing this because this is the God we created, and that God is reflected in our daily
life
actions, right? And our daily life. Now we know that now we know that with the advances of the science, and prayers cannot change the sex of the fetus. And it is a combination of X and Y chromosomes. God cannot do anything against the laws of nature. Prayers do not bring rain and stop tsunamis or floods, and these are all tools of exploitation. That is why, Harpreet ji, as we discussed before, God has become a dirty word, and God, people don't believe in God. God is that. That is why when these things are not fulfilled against the laws of nature, nothing happened. Guru Pasha ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾ ਕੋਏ, then people raise these questions. Walk away from religion. God becomes a dirty word, and God is dead. That is because we created that God, and we reflecting that, and when that does not happen,
then we go against it.
We go against it, because in the 21st century, people start asking questions.
Absolutely.
You know, if the God is that powerful, but is nothing happen actually, but still people get trapped in all these things. Here's an important question in this respect, that society reflect what the God they created. That's Guru Nanak Pasha says, "E man jaisa seve, aisa hove, taise karm kamaye." You know, whatever God you create, that will be reflected in your daily life. And God is what we make of it. But if humans created a God that is compassion, tolerant, love, kindness, equality, and harmony, and we have living and caring society as God of Guru Nanak. When we humans create a God which is jealous, angry, punish, and bring in tornadoes and kill people, and we can imagine what kind of society we will have. It will be simply reflected in our daily life. And the humans created God of supernatural powers. There's no human limitation, create those. That's what we expected, and as I said, Guru Nanak Pasha very clearly said, nothing happens out of the laws of nature.
Against the laws of nature.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So just to summarize that, Harpreet ji, in 30 seconds, the God religion is a human creation, is a result of fear and ignorance over thousands of years. Prophets observed, analyzed, redefined, and reinterpreted the existing practices, belief systems, and gave us a new vision. How to be suchara, how to be good human being. And that's what we have completely lost.
Forgotten. Absolutely, and that's what we are going against. Anyways, thank you very much for this information. It's really beneficial, and in our coming episodes we'll discuss more in details. Thank you very much. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ। ਸੋ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਡਰ ਜਾਂ ਇਗਨੋਰੈਂਸ ਕਾਰਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਉਸ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਰਿਫਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਰੱਬ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੈਰ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰੱਬ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨ, ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਦਭਾਵਨਾ, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਰਿਫਲੈਕਟ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਇਮੇਜ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਬਿਠਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜੋ ਸਹੀ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ। प्रोग्राम की करते थे ही समाप्ति। फीडबैक जरूर देना 604 603 75 55 या फिर ईमेल जरिए भी संपर्क कर सकते हो letstockjoytv@gmail.com। फिर मुलाकात होएगी, तब तक त्यो आ गया।